Hello, fellow USFL Fantasy Football Premier League owners. This is Jason Wise, the owner of the Portland Breakers in the 20-team league, and I present to you the Week 6 highlights in our league, followed by the current standings, and then the Week 7, the preview of Week 7 matchups, and a few other miscellaneous tidbits within this video. So let's get rolling. First up, from last week, one of the games of the week just went right down to the wire, but Paul Thompson and his Houston Gamblers got a great win in Chicago, 22.5 to 22, and basically with that win has helped forge a three-way tie in the Central Division. That division is just stacked and just a hot mess right now, in a good way, but it's crazy. Next up, you have Orlando at home. Definitely got a great win over the New York City Hitmen and Terry's club. With Orlando, that they improved to 2-4, and that very much was, we kind of need this win to help save our season kind of thing. Been there before, so I totally understand. Next, we have a great battle within the Central Division. Kyle Smith's buddy of mine, the Oklahoma Outlaws, went into Pontiac and got a great win over Mark Nemi's Panthers, 28 to 25.2, and Oklahoma is also 4-2 and tied for first in the Central. Tampa Bay, also another, got to have this win to keep my season afloat. Went into Birmingham and stopped the Stallions' two-game winning streak. Tampa Bay over Birmingham, 24.1 to 21.2. Another one, the next up, Arizona Wranglers. This team just goes under the radar, but Kevin Perilou has this team in the thick of things every year. They hosted the Washington Federals, who have kind of gone cold now, and beat them 24.8 to 21.6. Washington started 3-0. Right now it's on the, three-game skid, so obviously they're looking to change things, but it tells you how within this league, situations can change very rapidly, and we saw that with that victory for Arizona. Next up, Pittsburgh played New Jersey in New Jersey, a battle to basically stay out of last place in the Atlantic Division. Bosley's Pittsburgh Maulers defeated Matt Fiorci's New Jersey Generals 22.8 to 19.6. Pittsburgh went to 2-4. Something to build on. Only one game back of the leaders in the Atlantic, and even though Matt's 1-5, he's only 2 games behind, and it's he puts together a tough team every year, but he's just not getting the breaks this year right now. So tough loss for the Generals. Next up, basically it's funny how the Gunslingers were involved in this one, but it was our highest scoring match of the week. Where San Antonio and Jake Matthews went into Philadelphia to face the very, very formidable Stars, but came out winners 36.1 to 30. I mean, how is it you score 30 points and you still lose by 6? But that just tells you how competitive this league is and how anything's possible from week to week. Another hot team, the LA Express. Divisional foe, Joey Maynard's got that team headed in the right direction. They came into Portland and they absolutely crushed my Breakers. And 26.3 to 19.8, and it was not close. I've got to make some changes because my team's struggling right now, but give credit to LA. They're on a 4-game winning streak, and they're atop the Pacific Division, so way to go, Express. I know there's some really great teams in the USFL, but right now, to me, the class of the USF of our league right now are the next 2 teams in terms of wins that I'm going to talk about. First is the Memphis Showboats, the only undefeated team left, 6-0, and top of their division, top in the league. When you're at the top, you come in and you take care of business, and that's what they did. They went into Oakland and took care of business, 20.4 to 13.5. Oakland, I think Laziotti's first-year owner, so, just having some rough times. I've been there. I know what it's like. And then Jacksonville, another Southern Division, juggernaut. They went into Denver with, I think, Michael Ruette and his Gold, another first-year owner who's just, having some struggles. But Jacksonville takes care of business and stays neck and neck with Memphis. They improved to 5-1 with a 25 to 17.9 victory over Denver. Now let's go over the standings as they currently are after Week 6. Atlantic Division, man, crazy. New York City Hitmen, Philadelphia Stars, and Washington Federals all tied for first at 3-3. Pittsburgh right behind at 2-4, and even New Jersey struggling 1-5, but only 2 games back. The season's not over, and they can still do something. But obviously, in order to do it, you got to start winning. Let's go cross country to the Pacific Division. Like I said, we'll give kudos to the LA Express again. On fire, 4-game winning streak, 4-2, top in the division right now. 1 game ahead of Kevin Perilou and his Arizona Wranglers at 3-3, and they are also tied with yours truly's Portland Breakers at 3-3. Laziotti and the Invaders at 2-4, and the Gold at 1-5, just struggling. But you know what? You put some things together, and you know that can change. You know, even being 2 or 3 games back, still got some time to do something. Next, we're going to go to the Southern Division. Like I said, 2 of the best teams in this league reside in that division, and both, you know, it could very well be an all-Southern Division USFL Bowl this year. They're that good. Obviously, there's a lot of football left to be played, and that could change. But right now, you know, other teams have to step up to try to stop that from happening. But first, obviously, I'm talking about the Memphis Showboats at 6-0. Jacksonville nipping right on their heels at 5-1. Orlando, Tampa Bay, and Birmingham, they're all at 2-4. And no, they're not out of it. And obviously, anything is possible, and they can still put together some wins and you know, make it interesting. But in that division right now, if you're not named Memphis or Jacksonville, you got to start getting some wins now. And then we're going to go to what I think is the toughest division, top to bottom, and that is the Central Division. No team is below 500. You've got Houston, Oklahoma, and Chicago, all 3 at 4-2, tied for first. Michigan and San Antonio, 3-3, 1 game back. So all 5 teams are only separated by 1 game. And with Chicago playing San Antonio this week, and then Houston, Oklahoma, and Michigan, I think, play non-divisional games, it's actually quite possible that who's ever doing the highlights for next week could be talking about how every team in the Central Division is 4-3. That's how incredibly competitive and how much of a Donnybrook that division is right now. So now that we've gone over the standings, let's do the previews for Week 7. First, we're going to start off in, and before I go into, you know, the previews, this is such a pivotal week. We're at the midway point. And 7 of the 10 games that are going to be played this week are divisional matchups. So it's very crucial because the results of these games could either create more distance of anything that's there, or it could create an even bigger cluster Donnybrook in terms of saying, oh my God, you know, it's even crazier than what it was before. So, you know, it's just going to be one of those kind of weeks. First game, the New York City Hitmen go to Pittsburgh, and another one would maybe the one of the games of the week, the Washington Federals, Tina's team, 3-game losing streak. Got to try to get off the skids and get a winning streak going again. Travel to Philadelphia with both teams coming off losses. They both want to win. They're both at 3-3. I think that game's going to come right down to the wire. And if anybody has anybody playing Monday night, it may come down to Monday night. So some tough matchups right there in the Atlantic Division. Oklahoma, Kyle Smith takes his team into New Jersey. Even though the records are not, you know, different at 4-2 and 1-5, he's definitely not taking the Generals lightly, because they, you know, at any week, even if they're struggling, they could beat any other team in the league. Denver at 1-5 is going to Arizona. It's going to be a tough game, but another divisional matchup. Denver's going to look to try to, you know, climb back out of the cellar, and Kevin's going to try to, you know, keep pace with the Express. Another Pacific Division matchup. Yours truly takes his Portland Breakers into Oakland, and Laziotti's Invaders. They may be 2-4, but you know what? It doesn't mean they're not a tough team, and it doesn't mean they can't beat anybody. I'm definitely going to have my hands full in order to, you know, get in the positive side of being, in terms of being above 500. So very pivotal and crucial matchup for both of us. Another intriguing game, the Los Angeles Express go to Michigan, second straight week that Mark Niemi's at home. Like I said, Maynard's Express are on fire, and Mark's going to need a win to try to keep pace with the other Central Division foes. So that's another one that could go all the way down to the wire. That could be another game of the week in terms of point spread difference in terms of who wins and who loses. Next couple games are some Southern Division ones. Jacksonville at 5-1 goes to 2-4 Tampa Bay to take on Tracy's Bandits, and then Orlando Randy Minor at 2-4 is going to go and to Memphis to face those juggernaut Showboats. So, really, obviously, Tampa Bay and Orlando want to win these games to sort of bridge the gap and try to close the distance. And, of course, Memphis and Jacksonville, they're just looking to blow this division wide open. And if Memphis and Jacksonville can get wins, they're going to start creating enough distance that if that occurs, it may just become a two-team race in that division. Houston goes to Birmingham, a tricky game for Paul Thompson and his Gamblers. Henry's Stallions, two-game winning streak came to an end last week, so they're going to try to get back to their winning ways. And the last game of the week, another one of those game of the weeks, one of the most intriguing matchups, 4-2 Chicago Blitz going to San Antonio to face the 3-3 San Antonio Gunslingers. You know that John and Christine Walters are Bonnie and Clyde of this league's definitely going to have their team ready, but you're going into San Antonio to face Jake Matthews' Gunslingers. Never be an easy win there. So some great matchups this week. Now with the season about at the halfway point, I think the top 8 now kind of starts to take shape. It's kind of like the college football playoffs. It's still kind of early. Nothing's definite, but you can still kind of see trends and things of how, what's going on and who's where and what. It kind of helps you game plan from week to week when you see where you're at versus where you need to be. So that, as the weeks go on, I think is obviously is going to become more relevant and more interesting topic of conversation the closer we get to the playoffs. Next up, again, with that, all of us have been in this league long enough to know the importance of, looking out there, the waiver wire. I've probably done more work diligently at looking at that this year than I really have in seasons past. It's not that I didn't do it before, but I do it a lot this year. And even more than I used to, looking into trades. I put some trades out there. I know everybody asks because you're just, trade deadline's coming up November 1st, so obviously you've still got some time to try to make your team better if you can find the right fit and someone else and they work and you make it happen and, you go from there. Obviously for injuries, poor play, just to kind of shake things up. You're at that part of the season that it's kind of like, hey, let's kind of build on it and make it better. And I will also go ahead and say for anybody that, hasn't done a video, hopefully I'm getting better at doing this. I know I talk a lot. Sorry about that. But I am trying to get better at it, a little bit more polished where I'm not as nervous. But anyone that hasn't, feel free to put, a video out there of a week's highlights. Obviously, you can get in touch with Ray, and he's more than happy to see other people, get involved. I know that within our little, message chat for our league, I know that I've seen like Terry Harkness and Paul Thompson both talk about how they want to do it. So if you want to put together a video, hey, go for it. We'd love to see what you got. And then, like I said, this is such a pivotal week. Many divisional matchups. Like I said, it's either going to do a lot of either making things even more bunched up or maybe creating some more distance. But this is one of those, the rubber meets the road kind of weeks. And on that note, thanks for watching. Good luck to everybody, and let the games begin. Y'all have a great evening.